Good morning, everyone! Hello, Paolo del Rosario. Today, we are not Mo, we are less. No Monique Tuzon today, but don't worry, we still got a fun show. So let's get you up to speed with some news that we use right now.
Hello there, beautiful people. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. It's back to the daily grind for most of us. Join us for the next hour and a half as we kickstart your Monday with good vibes, great company, and stories and conversations that matter.
Alam mo, we're kulang tayo today. And you know, I am
Not
just...
more, we're less.
We are not more, we are less. We are less today. And I want to make this interactive. I want to bring in our audience with us because we need a national audience to fill in the spot of Mo. Kaya, let's make this interactive. So today, we ask the question, okay, pa-zoom in naman direct, okay? We ask the question, why is Monique absent? Okay, why is Monique absent? So for those who want to answer, please tag her.
Yes, at Monique Tuzon 06 on Instagram. Or those who are watching via Facebook Live, they can actually type their answers.
Or sa YouTube rin, no? I mean, like, again, we're asking the question, why is Monique absent? All right?
So let's bombard her Instagram with all the guesses that you have.
Yes.
I feel like the force is not with her today. That's why
not with her. Oh, she celebrated May the Force be with you too hard.
Napagod siya from yesterday's celebration.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
But of course, there's a totally legitimate reason kung bakit wala siya. Unfortunately, she can't defend herself today. But
she cannot.
We have a lot to talk about today kasi especially for those who are interested in property. We have a very interesting one coming in today.
It's an AI app. AI, Pao.
It's AI. Actually, I'm going to be asking you, okay ka ba dun? Like AI ulit
Well, I
tayo.
actually read about that app, the real estate app, and I think it's quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like the people behind it also are very, very good at tech in general. Their founder was part of the group that launched Viber in the Philippines.
Yes, and Canva too. She worked for Canva.
Yeah, so I mean, like this is the first, if I'm not mistaken, the first local version of this app in the Philippines. So we'll get to hear more about that, and of course, I mean, just a lot more. I'm super curious about it and want to dive into that a bit more later on.
Yes, we'll talk about that later on, and also the most awaited part of our show, Master Hans Kua will join us later for today's horoscope. Namimiss ko siya eh, because Saturday, Sunday wala eh.
Yeah.
So there, I missed Master Hans so much. So later on, we will have his horoscope. Make sure you watch out for that. But first, let's go serve them some news that they can use this morning. Let's check out, kasi kanina na traffic ako eh.
Traffic ka?
Yeah.
Wala. Okay, all right, let's see.
Where do you pass?
I don't know, not where you pass.
Why is it that when I always tell you na traffic kami ni Mo, ikaw, hindi ka na-traffic?
Like, literal, nag-stop over pa ako para magkape, and then sobrang chill ko dito.
No way!
It's just one of those things, yeah.
So let's check out the major roads, the major thoroughfares this morning. Let us take a look, busy na, at EDSA White Plains. On the left side of your screens are vehicles going to Cubao, and on the right side are the vehicles going to White Plains. If you're heading southbound, you'll be seeing those vehicles slowing things down a bit. Moderate traffic already building up on that stretch. Light traffic on the opposite lane. Now this time, let's take a look at EDSA Orense in Makati. On the left are the vehicles going to Pasay City. And on the right side are vehicles going to Shaw Boulevard. Can we show them on the screen? So let's go check out if you will be slowing things down as of this hour. But ako na traffic ako on my way here. There you go. So if you are headed to Shaw Boulevard, we're seeing moderate traffic on that stretch, light to moderate traffic on the opposite lane. Now, heads up to motorists, the expanded vehicle number coding scheme is in full swing today. It's a Monday, so vehicles with license plates ending in 1 and 2 should be off the road right about now until 10 a.m. and again later from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Now we got a bit of good news for motorists. After 2 rounds of hikes, oil prices are seen to go down this week. The cost of gasoline and kerosene could decrease by up to 70 centavos per liter, while diesel by as much as 80 centavos per liter. The Energy Department says the expected rollback is due to concerns about oversupply in the global market and America's tariff policies. Now, what's the weather going to be like this Monday? Paolo has the day's forecast from Weather HQ. Take it away, Pao.
Thank you so much, Anne. Let's take a look at the local weather and what are the weather systems affecting the country. Now, there are two weather systems that are influencing the country's weather conditions, and as of 3 a.m. today, a low-pressure area, or LPA, was located 460 kilometers west of Coron. Now, that's Coron, Palawan, to be precise, and the warm easterly winds, or the easterlies, will continue to affect most parts of the country. Now, due to the trough of the LPA, there will be cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms that will be expected over in Mimaropa, the Bicol region, Batangas, and Quezon. So these areas right here will be affected by the trough of the LPA. Now, this means there could be moderate to heavy rains that may cause flash floods or landslides in these areas. Now, meanwhile, in Metro Manila and the rest of Luzon, you can expect partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms, mainly in the late afternoon or in the evening. But make sure you stay weather aware, take necessary precautions, and keep safe, everyone. Now, let's take a look at the heat index and how the easterlies in particular are affecting that in the latest index from Pag-asa. Now, topping today's heat index is Infanta, Quezon, recording a scorching 45 degrees Celsius. Now, close behind, Dagupan, Pangasinan with 44 degrees Celsius, Apari in Cagayan, Tuguegarao City in Cagayan, Etiaguan, Isabela, and Asangli Point in Cavite. All of those regions with a blistering 44 degrees Celsius. Several other locations are also under the dangerous heat index category. This is at 43 degrees Celsius, including Metro Manila, Laoag, Ilocos Norte, and Tayaba City in Quezon. Meanwhile, temperatures in the following areas are expected to peak at around 42 degrees Celsius. Batak in Ilocos Norte, Bacnote in La Union, Iba, Zambales, Subic Bay in Olongapo, Camiling in Tarlac, and Masbate City. Now, with these extreme heat levels, remember, drink plenty of water and stay cool. Now, let's take a look at our sea conditions. There is an LPA, but there is still no gale warnings in effect in the nationwide seascape. Now, seas nationwide are generally calm to moderate and safe for small vessels. Coastal winds and waves remain light to moderate. Sailors and fisherfolk should stay alert and check the latest weather before heading out. That's it for Weather HQ at the moment, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Pao, for that weather update. On to our top stories this morning. The Land Transportation Office suspends the license of the driver of a sports utility vehicle that rammed the walkway and crashed onto the entrance of the departure area of Ninoy Aquino International Airport Terminal 1 on Sunday. Joan Manalo has the story.
A black Ford Everest rammed through the outer railing and into the walkway of NAIA Terminal 1's curbside departure area. 2 people died in the incident, including a 5-year-old girl, the daughter of an overseas Filipino worker, and a 29-year-old man. Meanwhile, 3 others were injured and sent at San Juan de Dios Hospital in Pasay City. Initial reports indicate that the driver of the SUV was dropping off a passenger at the airport when the incident happened.
Yung driver ay may hinatid na pasahero. May isa siyang pasaherong hinatid at pagkababa ng pasahero, tinulungan niyang ibaba yung bag ng pasahero. Pumunta na yung pasahero sa papasok ng NAIA at doon na, no, biglang nakita namin yung sasakyan na rumagasa.
Tuzon says authorities are still working to determine the cause of the crash.
Right now, initially, mukha namang hindi pumunta dito yung driver para managasa. No, hindi intentional dahil nga nakita natin na meron talaga siyang hinatid na pasahero dito. Dito siya uminto. Dito. Somewhere here. Uminto siya dito, binaba yung pasahero, at ayun, hindi natin ngayon alam kung ano ang nangyari. No? Ayoko munang magsabi ng kahit ano, ng detalye, kasi ongoing ang investigation ni General Abesha at ng PNP.
This area is where the black SUV crashed into the outer railing and the walkway of NAIA Terminal 1. As you can see, this part right here, one of the railings has been removed due to the incident.
Tuzon notes that the driver is now under police custody and will undergo mandatory drug testing.
We will also have to look at other angles of the CCTV footage. No? So let's wait for that.
Meanwhile, the Land Transportation Office has preventively suspended the license of the driver involved for 90 days. The driver is now facing charges of reckless imprudence resulting to homicide, physical injuries, and damage to property. Additionally, new NAIA Infra Corporation President and ultra-Bilyonaryo Ramon Ang says that he will personally shoulder the medical expenses of those injured and provide financial assistance to the families of those who died in the crash. Joan Manalo, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
In related news, lawmakers calling for stricter road safety measures following the fatal crash at the NAIA Terminal 1. Senator Grace Poe is pushing anew for the creation of a Philippine Transportation Safety Board. Poe explains there must be an agency solely dedicated for investigating transportation-related accidents. Senator Win Gatchalian is also calling for a more stringent procedure in granting a driver's license. He also likewise reiterates the need to instill to motorists the necessary road safety tips and behaviors for a safer road environment.
Vice President Sara Duterte called the charges filed against her brother, Congressman Paolo Duterte, as political attacks to cover up what she calls failures in the current administration. The VP says this is a common practice of those rallying against their family. Duterte also says criminals in the country are going their own ways. She also says she will join the Duterte Senate bets once schedules are fixed, saying that candidates are requesting for her presence to campaign for the pro-Duterte senatoriables.
Every time nagkakaroon sila ng issue, malaking issue na kabalbalan na ginagawa nila, ang kanilang pang-cover sa mga issue na ito ay atakihin yung kalaban nila sa politika.
Ano po? From national or we're talking here of local politics, dyan lang po sa Davao?
Hindi, national. Tulad na sinabi ko, blanco yung budget, nag-file sila ng impeachment.
Women's group Gabriela has called for an urgent investigation into an alleged prostitution ring at a private gathering hosted by Davao City Representative Paolo Duterte. The issue gained national attention after CCTV footage showed Duterte seemingly intimidating an alleged pimp who later filed charges of physical injury and grave threats. Gabriela expressed alarm over the lack of any known probe into the reported exploitation of women at the event. The group urged authorities to ensure accountability, stressing that no one should be above the law.
The Philippine National Police has announced it is on full alert status as per the directive of President Marcos. PNP Chief Police General Romel Marbil assured the public of the organization's full readiness starting May 3 until May 15, with quick reaction forces and regional units all on standby to respond immediately to any incidents that may arise. He emphasized that the police will work hand in hand with COMELEC and other government agencies to ensure the will of the people is respected and that no act of violence or disruption will derail the electoral process. The PNP also calls on the public to remain vigilant, report any suspicious activities, and cooperate with officers deployed on the ground as Election Day approaches.
President Bongbong Marcos did not mention Senate Bet Camille Villar in his endorsement speech of admin Senate bets in Batangas yesterday afternoon. This is the first time Villar has been omitted in the speech, as she is always included in his previous campaign speeches, despite her constant absences in Alianza sorties. This comes days after the chief executive ordered a probe into the Villar-owned prime water utility firm due to mounting complaints from its customers. Vice President Sara Duterte earlier endorsed Villar and the president's sister, Senator Amy Marcos.
Kalahati naman sa ating slate ay dumaan po sa mababang kapuluan sa House of Representatives. Naging congressman po. Nandiyan Congressman Abalos. yung aking seatmate po sa Kongreso. Si Congressman Binay, ikaw kasi tinitignan ko. Congressman Binay, na seatmate ko po nung kami nasa Kongreso. Si Congressman Abalos, dumaan din po sa mababang kapulungan. Congressman Cayetano po. Si Congressman Pia Cayetano po, na dumaan po din sa Kongreso yan.
Controversy surrounding clerical sexual abuse has reached the Philippines just days before cardinals around the world gather to elect a new pope. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines has issued a statement defending Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle after an international watchdog warned that he, along with Italian Cardinal Pietro Parolin, could not be relied on to protect children. Watchdog group bishopaccountability.org accused the Philippine Church of remaining in the dark ages when it comes to dealing with sexual abuse. In a statement posted Saturday, the CBCP clarified that Tagle no longer holds direct authority over any Philippine diocese, pointing out his role now lies with the Roman Curia. The bishops also highlighted Tagle's work in crafting pastoral guidelines on sexual abuse back in 2003. But advocates say those guidelines remain unpublished on the CBCP and Manila Archdiocese websites, raising questions about transparency. As the Vatican prepares for Wednesday's conclave, both Tagle and Parolin are widely seen as frontrunners to succeed Pope Francis. In Vatican City, preparations have started days before the papal conclave begins on Wednesday, May 7. The cardinals of the Roman Catholic Church will enter the Casa Santa Marta, where the cardinals will stay throughout the conclave. They will board buses under tight security and head to the Sistine Chapel, where they will gather for the morning round of voting. After the ballots are cast, they will return to Santa Marta for lunch, rest, and informal discussions.
They could talk in the hallways of the meeting rooms or take talk in groups, for example, national groups. The Americans can have a little meeting, the Latin Americans can have another meeting, the French could have their own meeting, and so they can decide on which way the conclave is going.
In the afternoon, they will repeat the process and head again to the chapel for a second vote. This routine will continue each day until one cardinal secures the required 2/3 majority. Until then, the world will watch the chapel chimney for the signal, black smoke for an inconclusive vote, white smoke for the election of a new pope. U.S. Cardinal Timothy Dolan said President Donald Trump posting an AI-generated photo of himself as a pope is not good, but refused to comment further. Trump, who is not Catholic, posted the image on his Truth Social platform late on Friday, less than a week after attending the funeral of Pope Francis. The White House then reposted it on its official X account. Dolan's response came after a reporter asked him before the Mass at a Rome church on Sunday. Dolan added, "I hope he didn't have anything to do with that." Trump last week joked with reporters that he would like to be the next pope. His posting of the image drew instant outrage on social media. Catholic bishops of New York State expressed their clear displeasure on X, saying there is nothing clever or funny about this image, Mr. President.
Over in sports, the TNT Tropang 5G finally victorious after 4 games in the PBA Philippine Cup. The Grand Slam-seeking team barged into the win column after a gutsy game against the San Miguel Beermen on Sunday at the United Center in Antipolo. Final score, 89-84. TNT cranked things up in the endgame when Simon Enciso knocked down a huge corner 3 down the stretch. Best player of the game, Calvin Oftana, also had a big game with a double-double of 23 points and a career high of 21 rebounds. Now in the first game, the Magnolia Chicken Templados Hot Shots cooked up a 33-point beatdown of the Terafirma Jeep. Final score, not even close, 127-94. Best player of the game, Zabe Lucero, led the Magnolia with a near double-double of 17 points and 9 rebounds. The Hot Shots remain flawless up on top of the standings with a record of 5 wins and 0 losses. Meanwhile, in college sports, it's the LaSalle Lady Spikers against NU once again in the battle for women's volleyball supremacy in UAAP Season 87. The Lady Spikers defeat the UST Golden Tigresses in a 4-set thriller over the weekend to secure their trip to the championship stage. This will be the 21st women's volleyball finals appearance of the legendary LaSalle tactician, Coach Ramil de Jesus. Meanwhile, the NU Lady Bulldogs had to fend off a tenacious, ferocious FEU Lady Tamaraw squad in 5 sets. The reigning queens are determined to defend their title and complete back-to-back victories in the final season of their veterans, Bella Belen and Eliza Solomon. It's on to the next one for the Denver Nuggets after a grind-out win in the first round of the NBA playoffs. The Nuggets shut down the LA Clippers in a seven-game series, to set up their semifinals matchup in the West against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Nuggets interim head coach David Adelman and guard Christian Braun tells us how they were able to escape the Clippers at home court while looking forward to their upcoming assignment in the playoffs.
That's exactly what we wanted, it's the exact moment I wanted. I felt like, last year, obviously the team had a missed opportunity that I felt like we should have won. Obviously they were the better team that night, but I just felt like there was opportunity left on the table, and I feel like I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to be more, and everybody wants to play more, but I just thought that, in that game, I felt like I was playing well and wanted to play more minutes, and everybody wants that. Everybody, in the league wants that, and I got that. It's exactly what I wanted, and those guys trusted me. And they have all year, but they trusted me in that moment. So this is the exact moment I was looking for, and I'm just glad. I'm just glad that it went our way.
Shot making doesn't come every night. We kind of had that too from a lot of different people. Very underrated thing. The end of Game 6, Christian made a couple threes late, and you lose that game. And you say, those weren't big shots, but for him they were, and you saw the rhythm was better. 8 for 15, 3 for 5 from 3. Just complete team win. Aaron Gordon, 9 for 16, playing through contact in the paint. Russ, obviously the energy he brought. Peyton Watson, DeAndre Jordan. Everybody brought something. And when you do that, you know that your two best players eventually are going to get going after a tough start. And they did. And Jamal's shot making there to kind of keep the lead where it was at, obviously, withstood any kind of run they were going to make. So, really proud of the guys. Crazy series. Fun to win it.
Shifting gears over to motorsports, McLaren's Oscar Piastri completes a winning hat trick in Formula One as he reigns supreme in the Miami Grand Prix. The Australian once again brought the thunder from down under in South Beach this time, early this morning, Philippine time. Piastri extends his lead in the championship race to 16 points over his teammate Lando Norris, who finished in second. Mercedes' George Russell completed the podium at third place.
In entertainment, Brazilian police say they foiled a bomb plot targeting the concert of pop music icon Lady Gaga in Rio de Janeiro on Sunday. The historic concert, which drew a crowd of over 2 million people, was targeted by an extremist cell promoting hate speech and radicalization of teenagers. Brazil's Justice Ministry says a man described as the group's leader was arrested in the southern state of Rio Grande do Sul for illegal possession of a firearm. The entire operation was based on a report by the ministry's Cyber Operation Lab following a tip-off from Rio State Police Intelligence. In local entertainment, Filipino-American content creator Bretman Rock packed his recent visit to the Philippines with celebrity meetups and major events. The OG beauty influencer and vlogger posted photos of himself on Instagram, enjoying local street food, attending social events, and reuniting with celebrity friends. Major stops on his busy itinerary include the launch of a magazine where he appeared on the cover photo, followed by the debut of his makeup collection with BLK Cosmetics. Now, the latest Marvel movie, Thunderbolts, brought in $162 million worldwide over the weekend. Though the film had a slow start in China, since the government's pledge to limit movie imports as part of its trade war with the U.S., Figures from the rest of the world were positive, and what we've come to expect in the recent marketplace, according to senior box office analyst Jeff Bach. Starring Florence Pugh and Sebastian Stan, the film sets the stage for Marvel's Fantastic Four in July and Avengers Doomsday next summer. This is the prelude to something much bigger, Bach said. Oh, I wanted to see this yesterday. I just didn't have time. But I've got to see that this week.
You never have time for movies,
No,
Anne.
I'm so sorry.
Wait.
No, but I was gonna watch this one.
Okay.
I was planning, but on Thursday I will.
Thursday.
Thursday, promise.
Bakit? What's on Thursday? Why do you have time on Thursday?
Eh, kasi doon mag-free yung schedule ko.
Iba talaga kapag busy, no? Sarap maging busy.
I'm sorry, busy ka rin naman. But yeah, Thursday I'm gonna watch it. 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
You know, I actually think Marvel needed a win because it felt like medyo nag-drag on yung Marvel Cinematic Universe nila.
Yeah.
There hasn't
What was the
been-
last one that wasn't?
That was
the
pretty-
reception wasn't so good.
There was a few. I mean, because it's you know, they start going to series as well, and
Yeah.
you kind of have to have like a little deep dive to get into it.
Mhm.
I mean, like if, for example, to continue the Captain America storyline, you have to watch the one
The
with the
previous-
Falcon.
yeah, yes.
So I mean, like there's just so much to go into. But then with all of the love going to Thunderbolts, I think that it's a good restart and maybe, you know,
Yeah.
a jolt of life to the MCU. Which
And I love the cast.
yeah,
They're
the cast
showing
is
it here.
fantastic. And ako, personally, I'm just happy that you can go online and then you could see yung the people who would prepare you to watch Thunderbolts. Like, they give you all of the background. And I think
Yeah.
importante yun eh.
I
Diba?
guess one reason why I wasn't able to watch it like yesterday because I just wanted someone to like explain to me. Sino ba to?
Are you
Sino
that
yan?
type? Like, you may kasama ka and they explain the movie to you?
Maybe just a few tidbits.
I
Samahan mo
understand.
ako
No.
doon tayo, tapos explain mo
I
sa
don't
akin.
like it. I don't like explaining eh.
I'll share my plain popcorn with you.
Hindi. Oh my God, away tayo. We'll sit away from each other. Pero I'm the type na yung kasama ko has to take notes and they have questions and then we'll review after.
Oh, yeah.
Oo, kasi
There should be a session after the movie
Yes,
all
kasi,
the time.
exactly. Because I actually want to enjoy the cinema for what it is.
Yeah, that's
Diba?
true.
And
You
you
know
know, what I like about it is that I was looking at I was going online the other day looking about people talking about Thunderbolts, and a lot of people said that the artistry here is something that AI can't replicate in terms of the writing, in terms of the script. Because sa totoo lang, artistic writing, it's hard, creative writing.
Yeah.
It's hard to replicate in a way that, you know, will have the impact that maybe Thunderbolts had. But what AI could help you with is more professional things in a way that, for example, real estate. Diba?
Exactly.
Grabing segue ko, no?
I know. That was so perfect. Thank you, Pao. Now, how can AI help in real estate? That is the question that we're going to answer with a Filipino game changer in the industry after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back.
Ang bawat issue, mas matagal nang tatalakayin. At ang bawat anggulo, mas masusing susuriin.
Dahil ang bawat balita, siguradong may agenda. Ako po, si Willard Cheng, at makakasama na ni Corina Sanchez Rojas at Pinky Webb na maghahatid ng mga balitang dapat niyong malaman.
6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. na ang agenda. Dito lang sa Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Ang si Ruma kasi gusto ko sana off the beaten path. If it's off the beaten path, you can't have a road. Let's go!
Watch the newest season of The Lifestyle Lab with Marie Lozano.
Woo! I survived!
Only here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Mikey Oreta. Business 360. 10 a.m. on BNC. The Bilyonaryo News Channel. Your newest source of news and information follows you everywhere, every day.
Wow, something to watch. Not just surprise.
On cable and free TV.
Good morning, everyone!
Online.
On Trade Talk, joining us this morning. Just days to go.
On mobile.
Simulan na natin ang agenda.
This is BNC and we are everywhere.
Hello there and welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Tech is helping us in a lot of ways these days, from our everyday lives to finding that elusive home. And how is this app using AI help its users find their dream property? Let's go find out. Joining us live in the studio is Crystal Lee Gonzalez, CEO and co-founder of NoneAway. It's a beautiful day, Crystal. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Of course. You know, I wanted to ask you what NoneAway is all about. It has been described as a game changer in the Philippine real estate scene. Can you share with us, the inspiration of why it was created and the core problems that it aims to solve?
Okay, so why we created it, it started when I bought our second home in the secondary market. And after making a down payment, I had this fear that I was scammed. Well, thankfully, I was not.
Okay.
But what that taught me was I made a joke to my husband that time. I was running a couple of grocery apps in my previous life. I said, how come when you buy a grocery, I can get it to you with a beautiful app, safe, simple, seamless, regardless of what you buy, from a shampoo to bread, right? But when you buy a house, there's nothing. There's really nothing. You can't monitor it. It's hard to find the right home. The matching takes a long time. So that's the inspiration. It started with that problem from a personal experience. So when we created NoneAway, we wanted to create an app that was simple, safe, and secure, and creates the whole seamless process from discovery or searching or matching down to closing, down to the keys turnover. So making that whole process more seamless is what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah. What I love about that is that you are utilizing AI to make things more seamless. In fact, we had a conversation a while ago that you're launching new features for this app using AI. And we had in that conversation, you mentioned that the Philippines is actually a bit behind when it comes to using AI in terms of real estate, because you look overseas, it's already there. And this is something that could be replicated here in the Philippines, right?
Yes, so we're quite behind, I guess, in terms of even basic things like safety, verification. And if you compare even, let's say, real estate or dating, like dating apps, right?
Yeah.
In the dating world, they've already solved this problem. Tinder, Bumble, they have everything from facial recognition to like taking pictures and all that. But if you buy a property, which is majority of us would buy a property, once or twice in our lives if you're lucky. And it's pretty much your whole savings, right? So it involves a lot of money, your whole savings, blood, tears, and sweat went into being able to pay these properties. But there's nothing, right? So we're behind on even the, I guess, basic verification, safety measures. So up to now, it's very common for people to get scammed. It's very common to hear stories where they made a down payment and then nothing, right? Meaning they even made the wrong payment to the wrong person. So even that basic process of EKYC, making sure you're not sort of catfished, but in the real estate world, unfortunately, it's getting scammed with actual life money or life savings. That's what we've had to fix in the beginning. So we created a platform. In the early stages, we focused on verification, which is called an EKYC, making sure everyone in the platform is verified, they're actual users. And then all the listings are also verified, meaning when you upload, even if you're a direct owner, you're the actual owner of the property. So we have 40 billion pesos worth of verified listings in the app. And we launched on soft launch. We were in beta launch as of February 2. And now we have over 40 billion pesos worth of quality and verified listings.
I like that because the last article I did read doing research, it was at 8.8, and now the growth, obviously, in terms of the listings has been incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you compare it to like a dating app. Obviously, siguro hindi ka i-reject ng mga bahay, but
yes.
when you look at the concept of the verification, the safety, and a lot of people are wondering, how does AI really help when it comes to that? What are the aspects of the AI in terms of the technology that makes this safer for the users in particular? Because you mentioned avoiding the scams, and I think that's something that a lot of people want to avoid in general.
Right. So it starts with even as early as the verification process of users.
Yeah.
So our AI, we require a government-issued ID. If you're a foreigner, which we allow also, even foreigners with a foreign number can register in our platform. So we're trying to attract foreign investors to the Philippines also. It starts with the EKYC. So if you submit a passport, a driver's license, our AI will detect if it's a fake. Because in the Philippines, especially, it's common for people to be able to submit fake IDs, right? So we had to, if we're saying we're safe, we had to make sure that, we really verify you. And even if it goes beyond just having you submit something, we have to make sure that you submit an actual valid verified one. So it starts with that. Our AI checks if it's a fake passport or license. And then down to even the searching, and then the AI also helps match you faster and better, so you don't waste time. Usually a lot of people, when we did surveys and talked to our target users, a lot of their time is wasted either talking to the wrong person, for one, which we try to eliminate. Second is the listing is not updated, or it's not direct to the owner. That's why our name is NoneAway. If you read it, it's actually no one away. So one away is a term for the middleman that brokers use when it's not a real broker. It's just a middleman. It doesn't mean you're necessarily a scammer, but you're a one away. So you're not even going direct. And what takes the process long is that I'll ask you and I'll be talking to you, and it turns out you're not the owner, and you have to ask the owner or the direct broker. So with NoneAway, everything is direct. We only work with legitimate licensed brokers or salespeople, or the actual owner. So 30% of our listings are actually direct owner listed. So they're usually the title owner.
So you mentioned that the AI helps in the matching process.
In the matching and the verification as well.
How does this help, personalize property recommendations for your users?
So if for those people that have tried a dating app, usually this I always reference to that because it's easier for them to understand. So they ask you your preferences, right? Or the type that you want. So we do that also. What type of property are you buying? Is it for investment? Do you want a pre-selling? Are you looking for a commercial property? Is it for sale or for rent? So in NoneAway, we have all of these, so that when we give you the search results, down to, I guess, the basic details, like, do you need parking? Do you need this number of bedrooms? It's more accurate, because what wastes a lot of people's time is you search in current marketplaces, aside from it's not verified in terms of users and listings, you're just given a ton of results. Usually there's also double results. With our AI, we're able to eliminate duplicate listings as well. So when you see the list, it's sort of a curated version already of what we think you want. And when you go through initially, even if you're not sure what you want, through our AI also, we're able to detect based on you can click if it's something you like or it's not for me. And our AI learns from that. And so the more that you use the app, our AI sort of gets to know you better, and the better results that you get. And then what I'm announcing today and what we're launching is the AI concierge. Where if you're not into the searching, you feel like you're not tech savvy, you don't want to go through that, you don't want to click the like or not for me. you can just go through our AI chat concierge, and that's where the AI sort of supports you with pretty much anything you need. And it gives you feedback, sort of like a real butler or a concierge in a hotel, but the AI is sort of faster and smarter in doing that.
Yeah.
So everything from you want to list a property to, especially if you want to buy a property, we're able to go through our database and our listings plus more, and the AI is sort of filtering and searching for you on your behalf. So this service not only will help brokers and buyers, but pretty much anyone who's into properties, right? From it involves everything from helping you search properties to eventually helping you close properties.
Yeah.
So the AI can help support you even with titling or like property transfers, all the legalities that need to be involved. Or even if you just have a question, you're a first-time buyer, you're not sure, you can ask the AI.
Okay.
What are the things I need to prepare? How does the process go for a first-time buyer? And the AI will actually respond to you based on what you need.
Okay.
Yeah, and I like you mentioned that. Okay, first-time buyers are also considered there. But looking at the values of the properties listed, just for those who want an idea, if I'm not mistaken, one of the higher properties that have been listed, I think, was worth 1.4 billion.
Yeah. We have as high, I think, over 3 billion pesos worth of listings. But we have, from all price ranges. But what we're more particular on when we say premium is the quality.
Yes.
So when we have in-house architects and people that check the quality, our AI also helps with that. Even from the photo alone, our AI, and double checked by our team, can sort of check if the property is of good quality. So if it's like not a good quality from the looks of the property from the photos, we sometimes do reject a property. So that's some of the I guess like add-ons that we're able to give.
Are there specific sectors or segments or regions that NoneAway is focusing on?
So initially we focused on residential.
Okay.
But we noticed that there are a lot more also commercial listings that are being listed. So for us, we're sort of agnostic in terms of what segment. Initially, we also launched in the secondary market and residential.
Okay.
But now we're also accepting pre-selling, or in international markets, they call it project selling. But we're more particular on making sure we have quality property. So when we know that the developer is not legitimate or doesn't have a good background or feedback, we don't allow it in the platform.
So you really have like a screening process to make sure that both the buyers and the sellers are not bogus.
Correct.
Yes.
So
and we have a feedback system also. So anyone can report a listing or a user.
Okay.
So parang premium dating service, but
Yes.
I wouldn't know it. I never use those apps.
Really?
Well, anymore. But when you look at the future of NoneAway, I'm sure you already have plans in terms of where you see this app going, where you see the service going.
Right.
The growth has been exponential when it comes to the value of the properties listed, the amount of properties listed. Where do you see this in, let's say, 5 years?
Definitely what I'm excited about would be the growth with even promoting the Philippines to the real estate market abroad, even to international markets. And why this kind of platform like NoneAway is important is because international buyers, their first go-to is actually a secure, legitimate platform like ours.
Yes.
So, one of our investors is the co-founder of Property Guru. So in Singapore, and buyers from markets like more advanced like Singapore, Japan, US, their first go-to, even if they're talking to a broker already, is to check or cross-check the opportunities, the value of the property in a verified, legitimate platform like NoneAway, which we don't have in the Philippines.
Yeah.
What we have are just either MLS or a generic open marketplace. We're more a closed marketplace, which is for more premium investors and buyers, even if they want to invest in a residential apartment or condo, which foreigners are allowed to do in the Philippines. They do check and want that verification. So that's something I feel like we're excited about, being able to offer Philippine real estate to even international investors and buyers.
Now, Crystal, you have experience in launching different platforms. I know you worked for Viber before, for Canva, and it makes you proud, a woman behind the growth of these platforms. And now you're focusing on NoneAway, how is NoneAway empowering women in real estate? And have you done initiatives to support this mission?
Right. Yes, so actually, I was also quite surprised how much women there are running their own brokerages in the Philippines. And I've met a couple of, it's mostly women actually, that's leading the top property developments. For example, I was just with the Shangri-La Group, Shangri-La Properties Group. We were in a trip in Singapore with our key partner, ERA. So we're partnered with ERA Asia Pacific also to, bring in properties here abroad. But it's mostly women running these big, giant properties like Shangri-La Properties. And it's being a woman also, I feel like it's a great opportunity. Same in tech, there's this notion, and usually it's male dominated.
Yeah.
So in tech, it's common. I usually was the only woman in the companies that I ran, or at least the woman representative. So in real estate, I noticed the same thing. It's really, when you attend broker gatherings, it's really majority are men, but there are a lot of women. And the goal is really to empower more women to join and to sort of flourish in these environments. And NoneAway being a safe platform with the whole verification and all of that. That's I think one of the initiatives that we're trying to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cases where women sort of don't feel safe, or whether it's a bogus buyer or they feel harassed, sort of. NoneAway sort of protects them better with that because of the verification.
Yes.
Even as a buyer, you feel safer also because you don't necessarily also have to give your personal details. We don't give out your mobile number. So you can chat directly to each other without having to give your address, your personal information, because it's assumed that, so we have it as a company, we get it, but you don't need to give it to the person you're talking to unless you're closing a deal already and all that. But at the same time, with the next features we're also launching, like let's say scheduling a viewing or a calendar, there's also that sort of safety. Similar to, I guess, back in the days where there's Uber, where you feel safer because there's the app that actually tracks where you are. We're also trying to do that with NoneAway. So whether you're showing a property or buying a property and you're visiting and no one knows about it, there's that essence of safety that at least there's a platform that knows what the schedule is, where you are, where you're viewing, where you're showing a property, which makes it safer, especially for women.
Yeah, what I love about that, it's safe from scams. It's safe. It promotes safety, obviously, in general. And also, what I like is parang nasisira mo yung tech bro culture, or that term that they have there when it comes to male-dominated tech environments. But then, of course, apart from that, I also want to focus on we mentioned that it is a premium service, and not just in properties listed, but of course, in terms of making sure that the buyers are serious, making sure that the sellers are also serious, and avoiding any miscommunication. When you look at the target market that you have, you mentioned foreign investors as well. Obviously, those who are more well-moneyed, and at the same time, you're also targeting those who are not tech savvy. With the concierge in particular, when you look at the target market that you have here, you look at your clientele at the moment, just what is it composed of, and of course, what are you trying to reach out to more?
Right. So one of our key target audience related to women are actually women. So why women is because women are usually the big multitaskers. They're the ones that pretty much manage everything from motherhood to the household to being a wife to working. So most women now work. So one of our core target market are women of all ages though. So from the start of when you're just renting, you started a job, maybe you're even just looking for a place to rent, you're in college. So looking at places with you, making it easier, looking at properties from renting to down to you have a family, down to you have your own business, you want to rent an office already. So our target is from, I guess, you start your life from just renting down to you're able to buy a property, down to hopefully when you expand and have a business, or you have now dispensable money that you can invest in properties. We want to be part of your journey from start to to the end, right? Down to even selling or reselling your property, you're moving to a bigger home, right? And in the Philippines, our feedback that we got from even our partner brokers and brokerages, which we have now over 300 partner brokers also, is that usually even if it's the couple deciding that this or looking at the property, the husband usually leans to the woman.
Yes.
Or the mom.
Yeah, the
so
mom.
it's the mom, the wife. So we decided, okay, why don't we lock in our target to that? And it obviously made sense because I'm exactly the same. When I was buying a property, same thing, you know, at the end of the day, my husband goes, so
yes,
are we
ask
buying?
the wife.
So in the
That's
Philippines,
true.
that's something very unique that we validated, or at least we got feedback from the brokers and the brokerages that the woman is sort of the budget, sort of the auditor and the CFO, essentially, when it makes to deciding.
What I like about this is that I can actually see your husband in the background and he's nodding. He is shaking his head. Yes, tama yan.
Yes.
So, you know.
Because I feel like it's the woman who's going to be staying in that property for
because also it's the woman that
day.
takes care of the property and maintains and manages it.
Yeah.
So it only makes sense that she's part of the actual, or she is the final say,
yes, the final
more
say,
often than not in the decision making. So there.
Ano nga ba yung sinasabi namin? Report muna kay Commander. So,
yes, it's like that. The women are the commanders. But looking ahead, what are the next milestones for NoneAway?
Definitely, we're looking forward to seeing more engagement.
Yeah.
So our focus the past months was getting the top listings, the best brokers in the platform. And we massively got beyond what we hoped for in the first couple of months with the 40 billion worth of listings. And these are quality listings. We have listings that's been featured in Netflix Europe. As that's how big, how gorgeous the properties are. But our focus now would be to get the buyers and to be able to provide leads to our partner brokers as well. Our goal now is to have that engagement, so be able to provide leads. At the same time, we want to now officially announce that NoneAway is open to buyers, to property owners. So we're done with the beta testing. It went quite well. And now we're really officially launching today, May 5. Anybody that's looking for a property, wants to list her properties with us, don't know how to go about it, don't have a broker yet. We have the best brokers in our platform that we will happily match them with also. So the matching goes beyond just the listings. We also match our property seekers to even brokers and brokerages.
Well, it's available on the Apple App Store and on Google Play as well. Of course, for those interested, you can go check that out. The details there are on your screen. Their IG page is NoneAway PH if you want to learn more. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Crystal Lee Gonzalez, CEO and co-founder of NoneAway.
Thank you.
All right, so we've got more stories for you after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Your passion, charisma, and unmatched expertise have made you the go-to voice in sports broadcasting. Congratulations to Anton Rojas of The Scorecard for winning the Best Sports Show host at the 38 PM PC Star Awards for television. Only here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. From the filing of candidacies until the last ballot is counted, your newest trusted news source, BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel, will be at the forefront to guide your decisions and guard your vote. Tune in to BNC's Election 2025 special coverage.
Friends, this is Cardinal Chito Tagle, and we have good news for you. The Word Exposed now airs on Bilyonaryo News Channel. That's Channel 31 on Free TV and Channel 24 on Cignal. Join us every Sunday at 7 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock in the morning, and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Thank you, and God bless you.
The legendary Quizmaster is back.
We heard you. So we're bringing back intelligence to Philippine TV with Bilyonaryo Quizbee. Bilyonaryo Quizbee will feature questions on science and technology, arts and literature, mathematics, history and geography, social sciences, and general information. We look forward to seeing you rise to the challenge and compete for the title of the very first Bilyonaryo Quizbee champion.
Your professionalism and dedication to delivering news with clarity and compassion have earned you this prestigious recognition. Congratulations, Corina Sanchez Rojas, for winning the Best Female Newscaster at the 38 PMPC Star Awards for television. Only here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
On Trade Talks, we learn the tricks of the trade from starting and growing a business.
We also got you covered on the latest tech trends. And we will keep you up to date on what's new in the lifestyle of the crazy rich.
Tune in to Trade Talks.
Catch Trade Talks. Tune into Trade Talks
Only here
on
on the
Bilyonaryo
News
News
Channel.
And welcome back. You're still watching It's Beautiful Day. This is Weather HQ. Now, a powerful new study from New York University has linked chemicals commonly found in plastics, specifically phthalates, if I'm saying that correctly, to hundreds of thousands of deaths from heart disease globally. Now, in response, Greenpeace Philippines is renewing its urgent call for a nationwide ban on single-use plastics, particularly sachets that flood our markets and households daily. Now, to know more about it, we are joined via Zoom by Ms. Marian Ledesma, Zero Waste Campaigner of Greenpeace Philippines. Magandang umaga, Ms. Ledesma. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a beautiful day.
Magandang umaga sa lahat. And yeah, thank you for inviting me to talk about this particular study and the impacts of plastic across its life cycle.
All right, so obviously it's not a new concept, trying to ban single-use plastics here in the Philippines. To be fair, there are some LGUs who have been making efforts to address it, especially Quezon City is one of the close-to-home examples is here in Metro Manila. But you take a look at the urgent need to make this a more national issue, especially knowing that there are now linked deaths, according to this study. How much more urgent does this make this fight for Greenpeace in particular?
Yeah, this study just adds to the larger volume of data and scientific evidence that we already have that's telling us that we must reduce plastic production and use, and we can't waste time on it. And like what you said, it's completely urgent, this issue, because when you look at plastics and the plastic crisis, you can see that it's not just an issue of health or environment. All of these are interconnected to other social justice issues, as well as other environmental issues, and even economic problems. You're going to see all these different factors come into play when it comes to the plastic crisis, because what we're seeing is that every stage of plastic's life actually has negative impacts on people, on our planet, and even on our climate. So there needs to be action from the government to protect people and start establishing alternatives to single-use plastic, because these are the only solutions that we can really see that will address the problem at source. We've given a lot of companies free pass for so long na kailangan na rin na kumilos na nila they have the resources and technology to create reuse systems so people actually have affordable, accessible, and safe alternatives to single-use plastic here in the Philippines.
We're looking at what feels like a necessary cultural shift in terms of trying to educate the Philippine consumer against the use of single-use plastics. Is this, in your opinion, the biggest challenge that we have? Obviously, there's all the hurdle of mga legislation or yung mga restrictions when it comes to production in general. But from a consumer standpoint, culturally speaking, single-use sachets, in particular, single-use plastics, have been such a big issue in terms of the pollution that we have produced as a country so far.
Yeah, you're right. A cultural shift is definitely needed, but under all of it, it has to be, I think, underpinned by more systemic changes, and that really needs to come from policies and also corporate action. In the sense, people will choose single-use plastics because that's currently what's readily and available to them. But they really have no choice in the form of alternatives. Kahit gusto pa nila to avoid single-use plastics, they're still going to opt for that because that's just what's there in our groceries and our markets. So to really drive that cultural shift, there has to be regulations around it that will incentivize all of these businesses to provide those alternatives. There has to be incentives for the consumers to want to shift and guarantee, of course, that all these alternatives that will be put in place to replace single-use plastic are affordable and fair for them, also safe, because whatever we're going to put out there commercially, it has to follow certain guidelines that will ensure that we're just not replacing plastic with another regrettable substitute, and also not replacing it with something that's equally disposable. And I guess one of the biggest challenges out there to these alternatives is really that are single-use plastics out there, so they're always going to be the choice. And they definitely need to be banned first. And then, of course, all of the framework of the policies na kailangan to ensure that alternatives will be more affordable and safe have to be there through legislation. The funny thing about culture is that Filipinos actually lived without single-use plastic, and we've had some reuse and refill practices that were already there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they were just co-opted and replaced with sachets. So if we can tap back into those past traditions and just modernize them to make them more convenient and accessible today, it really would be a safer and more environmentally friendly alternative.
You mentioned the systemic change also needs to happen. When you take a look at the policies that you'd be lobbying for, or at least pushing as an organization, are there any pieces of legislation, any pieces of policy making that you are encouraging that hopefully be given more priority in the next given opportunity?
Yeah, for one, there can be a bill with different features that will enable reuse and refill systems in different sectors and for different applications. And reuse is actually very different from recycling, because with recycling, there's already waste that's being produced. Reuse and refill systems are those systems that walang basura nagagawa. It's a zero waste model essentially, and it relies on making sure that you're reusing products and packaging again and again, but for the same purpose that they were made. And a bill that will enable reuse, as well as also mandate equivalent na reduction in plastic footprint of corporations is really what's needed. At ano yung laman ng bill na to? It should have targets for shifting away from single-use plastic, reuse and refill. There should be incentives for businesses engaging in reuse and plastic-free options, and also a measure to ensure capacity building and training for workers who will transition to a reuse economy. And Greenpeace and our partners in the Philippine Reuse Consortium are developing this policy framework, and we hope to really work with legislators who prioritize people's health and safety as well as environmental protection to create a goal. Kasi yung health at saka environmental protection, they're really one and the same goal, especially in terms of plastic pollution.
Yeah, we had this conversation because of the initial report, and I want to circle back to that. It's always been an environmental emergency when it comes to when talking about single-use plastics. But considering that there are now tangible deaths linked to the use of plastics, does that turn this into your mind a more health emergency right now and not just an environmental emergency? I know that we've always considered this a health emergency, but then it feels like the stakes have been amped up a bit, considering that there are not just a few deaths, it's hundreds of thousands of deaths linked to the use of plastic.
Yeah, 350,000 deaths in 2018 alone is pretty grave. And yeah, it definitely ups the stakes when you look at the problem now, because there have been so much data that even from the very beginning of plastics life, when you're extracting fossil fuels, there's already a lot of health threats that are being made with all the chemicals that are being used to extract fossil fuels. And then when you go through the whole production process, there's toxic emissions and pollutants being released. But this particular study just really cements all of these issues, because it's, as you said, quite tangible siya na link to everyday plastics and to these deaths from heart diseases. And hindi lang ito yung only na chemical that is hazardous when it comes to plastics. So phthalates are just one kind of chemical group that is being used in plastics, but actually there's over 4,200 hazardous chemicals that are being used in different kinds of plastics. So out of the 16,000 na ginagamit for plastic products, over 25% are actually considered dangerous, and there are no regulations around them in the sense that they're still being utilized. There's only some countries or different frameworks that will say you can use a certain amount of these chemicals, pero to say na wholesale na elimination in the use of plastic products, they're not out there yet. And again, I want to say that it's not just a health issue, because when you're looking at all of the health-related costs rin of using certain chemicals, actually just 3 chemicals, there's been studies that show that around $922 billion in the US alone lang yung naggagastos because of disease, because of disability and premature death, attributed to just 3 chemicals. And one of those is phthalates, the other is bisphenol A.
And of course, there's just so much to discuss when it comes to this. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time for it. For those who want to see more and learn more about the fight against plastic waste, do check out Greenpeace. Marian, really appreciate you coming on this morning and giving us all your insights. And hopefully we get to see you again soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and have a good day.
That was Marian Ledesma, Zero Waste Campaigner of Greenpeace Philippines. Now we've got more stories for you, plus our horoscope of the day with Master Hans Kua. That comes after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back.
welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Is today your lucky day or not? Let's find out from Feng Shui Master Hans Kua in our horoscope of the day. Take it away, Master Hans.
Good morning! It's a beautiful day with me, Master Hans Kua. Ito po ang horoscope for Monday, May 5. Para sa mga pinanganak ng Year of the Rat, magsimula ng emergency fund kahit maliit lang muna. Navy at 7. Ox naman tayo, huwag matakot sa bagong opportunity. Baka ito ang breakthrough mo. Brown at 1. Kay Tiger naman, uminom ng maraming tubig upang manatiling hydrated ngayong tag-init. Silver at 6. Rabbit naman tayo, masarap magmahala pero huwag kalimutan ang pagmamahal sa sarili. Pink at 5. Kay Drago naman, kumain ng pagkain na mataas sa fiber for healthy digestion. White at 9. Kay Snake naman tayo, huwag hayaan na ang stress na makaapekto sa performance mo. Brown at 4. Ito naman, kay Year of the Horsey, maghanap ng investment na angkop sa iyong pangangailangan. Red at 3. Kay Ship naman tayo, ang pagpapatawad ay magpapagaan ng loob at magpapalakas sa relasyon. Maroon at 8. Kay Monkey naman tayo, magtabi kahit 5% ng kita bilang savings. Violet at 7. Kay Year of the Rooster naman tayo, huwag ipilit ang isang relasyon kung hindi ka na masaya. Orange at 1. Kay Dog naman tayo, magiging masaya at matagumpay ang iyong relasyon. Magsuporta sa isa't isa ang kailangan. Silver at 6. At kay Pig naman tayo, mas magiging proactive sa pagbuo sa bagong ideas. Red at 9. Ako po, si Master Hans Kua, paalala lang ito po'y patubay lamang. Ang tunay na swerte ay nagsisimula sa pagiging totoo. Abangan ang horoscope of the day dito lang po sa It's a Beautiful Day with Master Hans Kua.
Thank you so much, Master Hans Kua, for that horoscope of the day. And we forgive Monique already for being absent today.
No, we don't. What are you talking about? Hindi. So this is what we're doing, okay? So we're asking, for those wondering, we were asking everyone to go online and try and guess, bakit wala si Monique? I have a sample answer here, okay?
Oh, okay.
So the
Let's see
sample
it.
answer here is because birthday kasi ni Monique bukas and she is already celebrating.
Oh,
Is it
nag-advance celebration.
Is it true? Is this true? No, na may advanced celebration siya. But is it plausible? Yes. You know what? I'm just saying it could be true.
I feel like she's already getting ready for tomorrow. Kasi tomorrow she's going to have a working birthday. So she's gonna be here on the show.
Tomorrow magpapakain yan, okay? And not just that. Bongga. Balita ko, bongga daw yung pakain niya bukas.
I know, may chicken.
May chicken.
May golden brown
chicken. Medyo inside joke yun. But apart from that, okay, we are expecting a feast courtesy of Monique Tuzon.
Yes.
And of course, we're all gonna be happy na sana for everyone watching tomorrow, sana mabusog rin kayo in terms of the visual feast that will be given.
And
also.
if you guys want to send early birthday messages to Monique, just send her messages right now. Bombard her Instagram. It's at Monique Tuzon 06.
Yeah, pero
There you
kung
go.
hater kayo ni Monique, okay, her actual handle is at Voice Talentita. Okay?
Teka lang, bakit ako palagi yung negative, Paolo? Paolo
Doon
del
kayo.
Rosario, please. Okay, anyway, from horoscope to more entertainment news this morning, South Korean boy band Conclave has made history as the first virtual artist to enter the Billboard 200 global chart with over 470 million YouTube views to date. The group's 5 members are presented as 2-dimensional avatars, each being controlled by real people using motion capture technology. Ooh, interesting. Despite the group's digital form, fans say the emotional connection with Play feels just as real. Their label Blast, which has backing from major K-pop companies, plans to expand globally and upgrade equipment to enhance concert experience.
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of the Gorillas.
Gorillas, yes.
Yeah.
Because they hide their identities, diba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They hide their identities. Like, it's not...
Di ba yung Daft Punk ganun din? Parang...
Daft Punk, no. Kasi they're actual guys in helmets. To be fair, sa Daft Punk.
Okay.
Right? But like, you don't see their...
But you don't see their identities.
faces.
Yes,
Pero
yes.
this reminds me more of Gorillas because, especially growing up, I felt like Gorillas was like a cartoon. growing up, right?
Yeah, same.
But if you watch a concert of Gorillaz live, they're parang animatronics. So
Okay.
it's like it's still not like the real people, pero it is what it is. Pero this is interesting kasi in a virtual world, like considering the amount of love that they have.
Yeah, and it's not and it's not like those AI generated images or figures. Kasi there are actually people doing the moves.
Yeah, it's like they
parang
drew it on
motion,
people.
what do you call that? Motion controlled, motion capture technology.
Yeah.
There you go. So we don't really know who's behind these avatars. That's interesting.
That's super interesting, and of course they're their own characters as well. And it's I think it's a new step. Well, a new step in a certain way. It feels a bit familiar. Also, again, mentioning Gorillaz, you mentioned Daft Punk, especially when Daft Punk had that cartoon. They had a cartoon growing up, Daft Punk. So
Daft Punk cartoon.
There was a Daft Punk. They had like three
was
or
it a
four
music video or really a show?
music video that was all connected in a single story. And then it was one of their albums. Where the song Stronger came out, and then they had like a bunch of songs put together. But then that's super interesting. So it's a virtual concert that we saw a while ago.
Yes, it
and
is. It is.
It's a full house. It's insane.
What's amazing is that their albums, grabe, they sell like pancakes. Like people really, and they actually have a fan base. Kung ang, what do you call that? Who sang? BTS.
Yeah.
I had a blank moment there. Kakatayin ko kasi Dynamite. Who sang Dynamite? No. BTS, kung meron silang army, dito sa kanila, it's called Plea. So they have like a group.
Yung fan, well, to be fair, like most fan groups already have names for their. Most acts right now have names for their fans. But anyway, we got to move on because we can go talk about that all day. Now we're going to move on to an automotive company that unveils its lineup of electric commercial vehicles, signaling a big push towards cleaner transport solutions in the country. Sujin Kim reports.
This is a new era of business for the commercial vehicle as we usher in to the EV, or the evolution of electric vehicles.
In response to growing demand for cleaner and modern transport, Careful Asia Resources unveiled its electric commercial vehicle lineup at the Hyundai Truck and Bus Mobility Expo yesterday afternoon. The launch marks a major step in the electrification of commercial transport in the Philippines.
We wanted to continue the safety, to showcase the safety, reliability, and I would say the competitive pricing of our product lineup. Last year, we have achieved a 27% growth compared to 2024. And this year, we're looking at achieving a 700 units for all the models that we have launched.
The new EV models include an electric truck with a range of 260 kilometers, fully charged in just 1 hour and 11 minutes, targeted at businesses seeking to cut fuel and maintenance costs. Harry also introduced the first ever all-electric minibus from Hyundai in the Philippines, designed for school services, shuttles, and tourism operators. The EV push comes in line with the Executive Order number 12, which mandates both public and private sectors to transition to electric vehicles. The company plans to roll out over 1,000 units, but the timeline remains tied to government support.
We are also dependent on the support of government for the modernization program. If the funding are released earlier, then we could move further or faster.
While not yet a mass market, Careful is betting on growing EV demand fueled by the expansion of charging infrastructure. As of today, the Philippines has fewer than 900 charging stations, a far cry from the national target of 40,000. Sujin Kim, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
2 Philippine beaches have been recognized among the best in the world for 2025. Entalula Beach in El Nido, Palawan ranked second, while Bonbon Beach in Romblon took the 38th spot in the world's 50 best beaches list. Entalula was praised for its towering limestone cliffs and crystal clear waters, while Bonbon gained recognition for its long, unspoiled sandbar and peaceful setting. Tourism Secretary Cristina Frasco says the award reflects the success of the National Tourism Development Plan under the current administration. The ranking was based on a global poll of over 1,000 travel influencers journalists, and experts, combined with criteria like natural beauty, remoteness, and transparency of waters. Will you look at that? It is just amazing. I remember the last time I went to Palawan, I was just blown away by how clear the waters were. Because I think nag-escalate ako kasi I always go to like Batangas and then Boracay, and then for the first time I went to Palawan, I was like, oh my God, it's so blue.
And
it's amazing.
And Talula Island, nakakatulala. Yung island na yan. But I actually am not sure if I've been there. I've been to El Nido. I love El Nido. One of the clearest waters I've ever seen. It's honestly what I like about El Nido in particular, na napaka-peaceful siya, especially compared to some of the other more active beach scenes in the Philippines. Kasi syempre, you know, you can pick a beach that you want here. What flavor you want. Kung gusto mong relax ka, chill ka, or kung gusto mo na mas active yung scene, surfing or parties. I've never been to Romblon.
Okay.
Bonbon Beach in particular. So Bonbon Beach and Romblon, right?
Bonbon Beach.
So there's Bonbon Beach, and one of the best in the world. I'm really curious about that because it's so near Boracay also, for those who are wondering.
Maybe
you need to
that
take a
should be
boat.
your next destination. What kind of beach goer are you? Are you more like a relax or party?
Hindi, I describe myself parang akong butanding. Okay? Okay, ganito yan. Parang akong butanding. Pero hindi yung nag-swim ha. Yung butanding na namamatay na. So nandiyan lang ako sa beach.
So you're more like chill.
I'm like a beached whale. Yan yung ano ko. Okay? So like I like do I like a water activity? Sure. From time to time. But do I prefer accidentally falling asleep in the beach? Yes.
Okay, so you're that kind of...
Kaya nga parang butanding. Kasi ang laki ng tao eh. Tapos ano to?
Yan nga agad naisip ko, butanding. Oh, for its size?
Well, yan din, di ba? Like, from a Filipino standpoint, maraming tao.
But I need to go to the beach. The last time I went to the beach, 2022 pa.
Grabe. Ako naman in like...
Ikaw, you're there all the time.
Hey, Boracay, see you soon.
So I look at... What do you mean, see you soon?
See you soon. Malapit na ako. I'm going back to Boracay.
Again?
Yes, so...
Grabe, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Miss MJ Aoki and everyone else.
Aww.
See you soon. No, but I also have family going there as well from Canada. So I'll be
Ay
helping
nako,
showing them
MJ,
around.
they're always leaving me behind on the show, ha?
Magsi-States ka soon. Ano ka? All right, so that is it for us this Monday, May 5. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Hopefully, we have Monique Tuzon in tomorrow. Kasi magpapakain ko siya. Thank you so much for joining us today.
And I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Thank you for making us your daily morning habit. Make today unforgettable by choosing joy and spreading love and kindness wherever you go. Join us again tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. only here on
It's a Beautiful Day!